What's going on, guys, and welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. Actually, this is a very special episode of Rabbit's Used Cars. A very special episode. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Rob, why is this a special episode? Let me tell you why it's a special episode. Because not only are you going to get a killer story about this 1993 ultra low mile, perfect Ford Lightning that I bought, and it's already got a deposit on it, so technically it'll be going to his new home up north. But you also get a good old Rob story about another red 93 Ford Lightning and some crazy shit that went down in my life. First and foremost, 1993 Ford Lightning. I'm a diehard GM guy. But I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if I'm broadening my horizons with age or what it is. But these damn Fords, they're starting to get my attention a little more and more. And I want to tell you something. If you've remotely been watching the internet and anything with all these new classics, these things are hot, 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 hot. Let me emphasize, hot. The problem is, in my opinion, these trucks are like the Fox Body Mustangs of pickup trucks. Fox Bodies, everybody loves them. Boy, you got a V8 Coupe Mustang, that thing's bad news with a 5-speed 5.0. Well, the problem is every trailer park redneck had one, and they literally destroyed them, ripping torque boxes out, swapping motors, doing stupid shit, running nitrous on them. All the things we did to them over the years. Well, now those clean examples are not out there, so the few that survived, are bringing top dollar, and they're bringing crazy money right now. Same way with these. These trucks were dirt cheap. 10 years ago, you can buy these trucks all day long, $6,500. These trucks were so cheap, and, everybody bought them up, and whether they made drag trucks out of them, put nitrous on them. These things I've seen with nitrous bottles bolted in the bed of them, and they had the shit ran out of them, beat to death. Next thing you know, there ain't no good Lightnings around. Now the good ones, going through the roof. Now you're even starting to see the second-gen Lightnings really hop up too. But these right here are still the Mac Daddy. And I'm going to tell you why. This truck was a game changer. And as bad as I hate to say it, and I hate it, and I hate it, and I feel like I need to apologize because I hate it so bad. I feel like I need to just tell my daddy sorry. I feel so bad about this. That's the better truck. I'm going to get a little flack for this, but you know what? I know 454 SS trucks and OBS trucks in general better than most people know the back of their hand. And I'm going to tell you something. A 454 SS was a glorified parts bin truck. They basically took a 3/4 ton truck, 454, which was a slug, but it was a good torque monster. It was made for pulling trailers. They took that motor, put it in a 1/2 ton short bed pickup truck. They put a cute little sticker on the back, blacked out all the chrome. 454 SS. And those trucks sold like wildfire. They're still extremely popular. They're still extremely collectible. But at the end of the day, performance-wise, they're kind of a slug. Not much to them. Other than shitty fuel mileage, that's about all they produced. Ford comes out with the Lightning. Now keep in mind, 93 was the first year for the Lightning. So this was at the tail end of the 454 SS. They came out with this. And you're like, well, it ain't got but a 351. It's got a 351 roller motor, GT40 intake, different suspension, 17-inch titanium wheels, sport seats, everything. I'm not going to say everything, but there's very little that a stock F-150 shares with this thing under the skin. And then some of the styling cues, of course, they took the same idea with GM, monochromatic. Everything's body color, but I like how they did like some of the trims black still, black door handles, black mirrors, black tailgate handle. And then of course the tube sport bumper, it was the early 90s. These trucks really, custom fiberglass spoiler, fog lights, Lightning embroidered in the seats. These trucks were really different. The rear suspension set up different on them. These trucks don't have a payload like a normal F-150. This thing will haul like 500 pounds. My Maverick has more payload than this. It wasn't made to go to Home Depot. It was a hot rod pickup truck. Ford did their homework, and they saw the 454 SS, and they saw the popularity of it. But what they did, they took it one step further. And they threw all them cool Mustang parts on a 351, boom. They caught lightning in a bottle, no pun intended. These things sold like crazy. Like I said, this one right here is probably one of the cleanest examples in the country. Probably one of the nicest ones I've seen personally in years. Ultra low mile, super clean, 2-owner truck. Really fun story, real quick on this thing. It's got a clean South Carolina title, obviously. We don't really sell wrecks. But this truck has a neat story, and the guy I bought it from was telling me about it. It was actually sold new in Louisville, Kentucky, which is really crazy because with this truck, when it had 6 miles on it, 6 miles, it was actually stole on a test drive and took on a joyride. And obviously they got caught pretty quick. It's a bright red truck. It didn't get a branded title. It didn't anything like that. It's all that. But how cool is that? And then this thing has lived an extremely sheltered life ever since, obviously. Both owners were actually brothers. It's actually a one family owned truck. Basically one brother sold it to the other brother. And this thing is absolutely immaculate. And I'll be honest with you, it drives just like day one. And they even put back the original BFGs on it. This truck is literally on a scale of 1 to 10, this truck's a 9.9 any day of the week. And the bottom looks like the top. It's lived in a garage every day of its life, and it's painfully obvious. You know, this one's gone. Can't cry over spilled milk, kids. Better luck next time. My inbox blew up when they seen this thing pop up on Instagram. That's a reminder, guys. You know, you're always wondering, like, where you see Rabbit's cars, where you see Instagram. Get you an IG. Get with the times. Instagram, Rob Pitts. I'm not a hard man to find. So anyway, my inbox blew up. Oh my God, tell me about that lighting, tell me about that lighting, tell me about that lighting. And finally got one guy told me about that lighting. He said, I'll take it. So guess what? You just bought it. It's a short love story here with this one, but moving on. I love how these cars bring back memories. My dad had a red 93 Lightning when I was in high school. And the thing that was crazy about it is I loved that truck, but he wouldn't let me drive it. He wouldn't let me, that was his. I was driving to the Career Center, and I was driving my F-150, and we have a road here in Greenville. It's called State Park Road. It's a little narrow 2-lane road, and basically it cuts out the backside of Taylor, South Carolina, and runs you right into Greenville, right here behind the warehouse. And I was running late for school as usual, flying like a bat out of hell. And, you know, like I said, it's a little 2-lane road, and it's got little streets that kind of feed off of it. And a lady pulled out in front of me in a Ford Escort station wagon. I'll never forget, it was a white Escort station wagon pulled right out in front of me, and I was flying, had the radio wide ass, probably with a Marlboro hanging out of my mouth, going to school, and she pulls right out in front of me. And I'm talking about I never touched the brakes. It was just instant. And I remember because she got just in front of me. Well, state of South Carolina, if my front bumper touches your back bumper, it's my fault. No matter what. If she backs up and hits you, it's your fault. That's just how South Carolina works. Well, I hit her. I hit that Escort so hard, the doors flew open on it. I kid you not. And the back glass of that station wagon landed in the bed of my pickup truck. But a testament to how these things are built. Keep in mind, it's a full-frame truck. It bent the bumper. It busted the grill. And it bent the hood like that, just a little on the edge. You know, the hood's kind of chiseled off, and it bent the hood down just a little bit. Didn't mark the paint or anything, but that was it. That was all the damage that was done to it. And I wasn't hurt, you know, I mean, I was shook up, but I wasn't hurt. I remember the seatbelt made a little mark on my neck. But the funny part of this story was the first thing you do when you get in a wreck, you're a teenager, you call your parents. I'll never forget, I was sure as I wasn't gonna call my mother because she would have had a conniption fit. So I called my father. I called Dad. I said, Dad, I've been in a wreck. And then literally, I didn't have much time to say anything else. Next thing you know, cops are pulling up, and we were right there by the fire department. So the fire department was there. I said, I got to go. I'm on State Park Road. Well, as he starts up State Park Road, he sees an accident, and he thought it was me. There was white petitions up, and usually when they put those up, that means they're cutting somebody out of a car, and it's a mess. He saw that, and my dad stopped, and he thought, oh my God, you know, this. And he looks, and it was an F-150, but it was like a dark blue F-150, and he knew instantly it wasn't me. So he gets back in his truck and just keeps going. Well, about 3 miles up State Park Road, He pulls up, and of course, first thing I'm going to ask, are you all right? I said, I'm fine. He goes, what the hell were you doing? Were you flying? Da-da-da-da-da, all this stuff. And the funny part of the story is, I drove the truck home. It was so neat, my dad let me lay out of school, fix the truck. I drove a truck to school the next day. Hell, nobody ever knew. And how I totaled a Escort. You think about that story, and there's another end to that story. We'll get into it another time because we're already running long. But the thing, is crazy, is I don't care what you believe in, a higher power or whatever. But, sometimes, I was flying like a bat out of hell, and I was dead in the wrong. That lady pulled out in front of me, but I was speeding, doing what I needed to do, or doing what I shouldn't be doing. But the thing you got to think about, how about if that lady didn't pull out in front of me? I might have been in the middle of that wreck with all those petitions there. And keep in mind, someone died in that wreck. Makes you think. Guys, we'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars. He finds me in the Escort. So funny saying that. He finds me in the Escort. Anyway, moving on.